Tomorrow night, the superstars of Monday Night Raw will take to Dallas, Texas, in the first ever pay-per-view after named after one of the most iconic classic rock and roll oldie hits of all time, Jerry Lee Lewis. Goodness gracious, Great Balls of Fire. Tomorrow night, the first ever WWE Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view on the WWE Network. Hello, friends, and welcome to this special edition of Ridiculously Raw. I am the ridiculously over gentleman, Anthony Floyer, with you, along with the phenom, Michael Bullock. We got a big show here tonight. We're going to be previewing the first ever WWE Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view event that is going to take place tomorrow night at the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas, exclusively on the WWE Network and on some traditional pay-per-view outlets. So, without any further ado, let's get on into the action. I know we normally don't do pre-show matches, and rightfully so, because usually they're dull and boring. But this is, I think, one time I think we may have to get into this, because this is one of the more interesting kickoff show matches in recent memory. A championship match on the kickoff show. The WWE Cruiserweight Championship will be on the line as champion Adrian Neville defends the title against Akira Tozawa. Of course, you know Adrian Neville has held the title since, of course, the end of January when he won it at the Royal Rumble from Rich Swann. He's held it since. We thought he was going to lose it to Austin Aries, but that did not happen. So now Tozawa is now the man in line here. So, of course, I'll say this. For a long time, we stated our issues with the Cruiserweight division several times. But now they're finally becoming arguably one of the most interesting things, if not the most interesting thing on the show. I was excited for Neville and Austin Aries, but there were more interesting matches at WrestleMania. Here, Tozawa and Neville is easily the highlight if the main event goes a certain way. They've never met before, so it's fresh. Neville, as the king of the Cruiserweights, has been one of the best things going in all of WWE for quite some time. Tozawa has momentum, and the Titus brand stuff, even though it bothered me at first, it's actually starting to grow on me. It's starting to become a good addition. At first, I mean, this could go either way. I mean, Titus could inadvertently cost Tozawa the match, but there is a chance that Tozawa could actually win the belt, and then we get a rematch with these two on a future Raw or future 205 Live, or maybe even at SummerSlam. You never know. But, man, am I excited to see this one. While it's a real shame that this is taking place on the pre-show, it does open up a lot of opportunities for them to get time and to really cut loose here. Neville has continued to be one of the reasons to tune into both Monday Night Raw and 205 Live every week. He is such a great heel, and I just can't get enough of his promos, whether he screams or not. And I know Bullet doesn't like the screaming of it, but, you know, it is what it is. Tozawa has gotten caught up in the Titus Worldwide story, which I'm 50-50 on it. At first, you know, it bothered me, and it's starting to grow on me a little bit, but there's more of a part of me that says that it's still bothering me. Titus, some has said he's been fairly enjoyable in this role, and while I don't love that we don't get to hear from Tozawa directly, it has helped the Titus Worldwide brand actually feel like a legitimate deal. Either way, honestly, I don't quite think Tozawa's going to win the championship here. I could see Titus's interference going both ways here, but its history of interference so far hasn't worked out all that well for Apollo Crews, so I'll wager it'll go sideways here as well. So with that being said, I'm going to take a chance here, and I'm going to go with Adrian Neville to successfully defend the Cruiserweight Championship and continue his long reign as the king of the Cruiserweights. So with that being said, Michael Bullock, come on in. I know we normally don't do pre-shows, but I feel this is one time we should do it because you got Neville and Tozawa for the Cruiserweight Championship. And last time I checked, hey, this is one time we're actually interested in a pre-show fight, because usually they're dull and boring.
Yeah, normally these kickoff matches are usually dull and boring, but this one here I'm gonna have some interest in. And I mean, yeah, it's definitely been interesting, especially with Akira Tozawa basically joining the Titus brand. So, and and basically Neville, I mean, with his run as the cruiserweight champion, and he's been running with it since winning it at the Royal Rumble earlier this year from Rich Swann, and he's held on to it ever since, and basically, yeah, I mean, this is one I'll be very interested in, and I mean, basically Akira Tozawa basically trying to get under the skin of Neville, just with his popular thing that well, his only one word line is "Ha." I mean, and basically, I mean, you saw in that episode of 205 Live, and to the point where he, Tozawa basically kept going "Ha" every time, and it basically was getting Neville even more ticked off than he already is, and but I mean, would I be surprised if Akira Tozawa said it? No, I wouldn't be, but I'm gonna have to go with Neville. I mean, yeah, I mean, I think his dominant run as King of the Cruiserweights and still Cruiserweight champion, I think it's going to continue. So Neville wins. So now let's get on to the main card of Great Balls of Fire.
And you're going to be starting it off with this first matchup here. And this is, quite frankly, a match that a lot of fans were hoping they would never see, but unfortunately, we are going to see it. Not that we don't think it's going to be bad or anything. It's just that, you know, the two guys who are in this match that are going to be going up against each other.
They're fan favorites.
Exactly. And not only fan favorites, but they were the Wrestling Forum's favorite tag team. And they're going to be going one-on-one here on Great Balls of Fire. It's going to be Enzo Amore squaring off against Big Cass. We know the story. Big Cass turned heel on Enzo a number of weeks ago on Monday Night Raw. And we know the story. So, Michael Bullock, I mean, during our Raw chats, you know, one of the big staples of our Monday Night Raw chats were when you would do the Enzo Amore shtick and I would channel my inner Big Cass and the whole 9 yards. But unfortunately, as we said on Ridiculously Raw the night it happened, it's unfortunately the end of an era. What a shame.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, looks like we won't be doing that anymore during our Raw chats. So, yeah, I mean, obviously Big Cass turned heel. Obviously, I think they want to push him because obviously he feels like that Enzo Amore has been stealing the spotlight from him, and now he wants to take that and be on his own. So yeah, so basically, I'm gonna have to go with Big Cass winning this one. So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be tough for every fan to watch, but I mean, I still think it's gonna be a good match. But for some fans, they're still probably saying this really cannot be happening. So yeah, so nothing else to say. Big Cass wins. Florio, what's yours?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I really, really hope that WWE has a plan here for these guys after this one is over. This match is easy to call. Big Cass beats Enzo around for a while. Enzo won't give up until Cass finally murders him, gets the win. Whether they go the route of having Enzo buddy up with somebody again, like the Big Show, or let them keep fighting in one-on-one matches, what happens afterwards? Big Cass has a tall order ahead of him, singles-wise. Not because he doesn't have the chops to make it, but because the singles ranks are stacked top to bottom on Raw, and everybody is caught up in something. Where do you slot him? Enzo really should stay in the tag team division. He's a great addition to somebody, but I worry about people souring on him if they, you know, expose him in enough one-on-one matches. What matters here, though, is Great Balls of Fire, and Big Cass certainly is going to win this one. He's going to take this thing away, and I mean, you know, I still think the split is a bad idea. Enzo hit the nail on the head on Raw when he said that Cass's merchandise checks without him will have 0 dimes. Cass without Enzo is bland, and Enzo without Cass is unthreatening. I could see Enzo winning with a flash roll up or something, but I don't think they did the big heel turn for Cass to lose his first time out. Expect Cass to dominate and win with Enzo drawing more sympathy. So, yeah, Bullock, I agree with you. I'm going with Big Cass to win this one. Even though this match is depressing, I mean, Enzo and Cass together were greater than the sum of their parts. Separate, Enzo.
Yeah, I don't understand why WWE had to pull this.
Separate, Enzo is a great talker that can't beat anybody, and Cass is an average big man with no personality. There was no real reason to split them other than management hoping that they finally have another tall superstar on their hands. Enzo can stay over no matter how many times he gets beat, so you got to give Cass the edge here. So Big Cass wins this one. So now let's move on to our next matchup here. It's going to be the Kingslayer and the Architect, Seth Rollins, squaring off against the Eater of Worlds, Bray Wyatt. And a year ago, this would have been a dream matchup and great clash of characters. This has been a clash, all right, but not a good one. Bray hasn't shown any in-ring aggression to prove he is the better fighter. He's just spouted some pretty words with no substance. Honestly, this should be the start of a feud that maybe lasts till SummerSlam, but I think hopefully this is a one-and-done feud, as this has really done nothing for either man. Seth is on the 2K18 cover, and let's face it, Bray Wyatt has lost so much momentum. I mean, they put the title on him. You know, he won the WWE Championship at the Elimination Chamber back in February. And then they had him drop the title to Randy Orton at WrestleMania. And yeah, he won that Chamber of Horrors match, which was an absolute mess. But, you know, what else has he done for us lately? Nothing. And I don't see him doing anything soon. They obviously have no faith in him, which I think is a damn shame. He's the most underutilized, underrated talent there is, who deserves way better. They should have kept the title on him. They should have kept him on SmackDown Live, if I'm going to be real honest. But, you know, it is what it is. But there's nothing left for me to say here. I think it's going to be a fine match, but nothing. But right now, it's hard to fathom how little I'm excited about this match. I mean, when it was the Shield versus the Wyatt family in 2014, I absolutely loved it. Now this time around, it's the Pits. Seth, he's been a lackluster babyface. Bray just cuts the same rambling promo each month, regardless of who he's facing. Both guys are in funks, and this feud is not helping. It feels like they're killing time until Seth eventually maybe gets his shot at Brock Lesnar in the Universal Championship. But there's nothing left for me to say here. I'm going to go with Seth Rollins to win. I mean, mainly because of the 2K18 cover deal. There should be no way the literal cover boy loses here. So I'm going with Rollins to win. It's going to be a decent match. I can't say I'm overly excited about it because both guys, you know, are treading water right now. And, you know, it is what it is. So I'm going with Rollins. So Michael Bullock, Seth Rollins, Bray Wyatt. Who do you like in this one?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Seth Rollins as well. I mean, he's the cover boy for 2K18. I think WWE, to me, would be foolish to have him lose a match as their cover boy for the game. And like you said, this rivalry has no build whatsoever. It's been pretty much lackluster. I mean, I still think it's going to be a good match, but the build has been pretty much left to be desired here. So, I mean, Bray Wyatt's had a chance to back it up in the ring, and all he's done are these promos from wherever wherever he's at. So yeah, so there's nothing else to say. I got Seth Rollins winning this match. So Florio, let's move on to our next matchup,
which you'll be starting off on, and let me see what we got. Oh boy, we're really gonna have some fun now, because now we're getting into the meat of the card here, and I think we're obviously going to save the championship matches for afterwards, and because the championship matches are the big deal and the heart and soul of the show. Yeah, but this is definitely, you can make an argument, one of the two main events of this show. And this is one that I know Michael Bullock and I are going to have a lot of fun with. It's going to be, of course, you know, it's going to be the big dog Roman Reigns against the monster among men, our favorite Michael Bullock, Braun Strowman. Yes, sir. Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, one-on-one in an ambulance match. Yes, an ambulance match. Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman. I'm going to go into full professor mode in just a little bit. But before we do that, Michael Bullock, we're going to start this one off with you. And, you and I, we're big Braun Strowman fans. I mean, that's why we do the Roar, because we love it. And another staple of our Raw chats, by the way. But nonetheless, Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman, you got to believe this is going to have Universal Championship and SummerSlam implications aplenty in this one. So who do you like in this first of our two huge main events here?
Oh yeah, I think this is going to have Universal Championship and SummerSlam implications in this match. I mean, Roman Reigns. I mean, of course, we all know. I mean, this feud has been going way back, of course, since Fastlane. Of course, Roman Reigns got the best of Braun Strowman at Fastlane, and of course, basically, Braun Strowman got the win at the Payback pay-per-view, and then of course Roman Reigns basically takes him out the next night. Basically, Braun Strowman has an injury to his arm, and we thought he was going to be out of action for a long time, but came back a few weeks ago and in an ambulance, and it's basically saying that he wasn't through with him, and they're gonna have one more match, and it's in an ambulance match. And of course, the rules of the match is you have to basically beat your opponent so bad you have to put them in an ambulance and drive them out of the arena. I think that's how it goes. So yeah, so there's really nothing left for me to say. I'm gonna have to go with the monster among men, Braun Strowman, to win this match and go over on Roman Reigns, and I think eventually he will be the number one contender for the Universal Championship, and because I think it's going to end up being him. And well, I'm not going to pretty much give away who's going to face. I mean the rumors are about that it's going to be him and Lesnar for the Universal title at SummerSlam, but we'll wait and see how how it all falls into place. So give me the monster among men, Braun Strowman, to win this match. Roar!
Yes, sir. All right. Before I give you my pick here, I think it's only fitting that I go into my professor mode here, like I love to do, and give you the history of ambulance matches in the WWE. This will be only the fifth ambulance match in WWE history. Now they used to do this match in WCW as well. They had some in WCW. Mike Awesome, as you all know, Mike Awesome, originally one of the ECW originals when he was in his career killer gimmick. He used to do ambulance matches in WCW. He used to go against Sting and Kevin Nash and Scott Steiner, The Wall, G.I. Bro, who of course we all best know as Booker T. And then at the 2000 Great American Bash, Mike Awesome went up against Diamond Dallas Page, and he won that match. And then the last one was at the 2000 Starrcade when Mike Awesome knocked off Bam Bam Bigelow. So Mike Awesome was pretty much the ambulance match guy in WCW. But then we moved it to the WWE, the Survivor Series in 2003. WWE revived the ambulance match from life support in 2003 as part of the feud between Kane and Shane McMahon. Of course, that feud began when Kane gave Shane's mother Linda a tombstone pile driver on the stage. The rivalry between those men only intensified from there and featured Kane tossed into a burning dumpster, Shane having jumper cables hooked up to his nuts, and both men being hospitalized from other attacks on each other. And then at the 2003 Survivor Series, they met, and ironically in Dallas, the same arena where Great Balls of Fire will be tomorrow night, Kane won that match. Tombstone pile driver, threw him into the ambulance, got the win. And then we had a morbid twist to the match. The success of the match led to the company creating a spin-off of the match for Kane's brother, The Undertaker. Only instead of using an ambulance, Undertaker preferred to use a hearse to end his feud. And at No Mercy 2004, The Undertaker lost to WWE champion JBL in a last ride match. 2 years later at Armageddon 2006, Undertaker got to 500 in that same type of match when he knocked off Mr. Kennedy, a.k.a. Mr. Anderson. And then despite being held at an event named after another type of match, the ambulance match was the final match of the evening at Elimination Chamber 2012. The match was the end result of Kane having a problem with John Cena's Rise Above Hate t-shirt. Kane targeted John's friends Zack Ryder and Eve Torres in an attempt to make John embrace the hate. Instead of John's attitude being adjusted, John wound up giving Kane an attitude adjustment off of the ambulance to win the match and end the feud. And then at Extreme Rules 2013, last man standing match between John Cena, who was the champion, and Ryback went to a no contest when either man could enter the referee's 10 count. And then following the match, Cena was on a stretcher and almost taken out of the arena in an ambulance. He was determined to make it out on his own power and refused to be put into the ambulance. And then they had a 3 stages of hell match at Payback 2013. The third stage was the ambulance match. Of course, the first stage was the lumberjack match, and the second stage was a tables match. And then they had the ambulance match, and then the door was ripped off, quarter pan was torn off, emergency lights were removed. But then Cena put Ryback through, and they got the win. And then the final and last ambulance match to date was the very first Monday Night Raw broadcast of 2015. Bray Wyatt and Dean Ambrose. You know, they had that feud at Hell in a Cell 2014 when Bray cost Dean Ambrose the Hell in a Cell match against Seth Rollins. And then Dean set his sights on Bray, and then they had a variety of matches, you know, TLC match, boot camp match, Miracle on 34th Street match. And then the first Raw of 2015, they met in an ambulance match. Bray won the match and the feud when he delivered Sister Abigail on both the back door of the ambulance and on the floor in the back of the ambulance. So 2003 Survivor Series, Kane over Shane McMahon. 2012 Elimination Chamber, John Cena over Kane. Payback 2013, John Cena over Ryback, and Bray Wyatt over Dean Ambrose, the first Raw of 2015. And now here we are again in this match. And I know the safe pick is Roman Reigns, of course, but if you didn't see Derek Ferrera's videos over the week, you know, he not only did a prediction video, but he also gave away some spoilers for this event. And I believe one of those spoilers was Braun Strowman to win this match. And for the first time in a while, it is hard to predict a Roman Reigns match. We always go with Roman winning, but we were wrong at Payback. Part of us can't see Braun Strowman beating Roman Reigns again, but I also don't think they do Reigns and Lesnar at SummerSlam. I think they're going to ultimately save that for WrestleMania 34, although I have heard rumors that Roman will win the match, and then Roman Reigns will fight Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, because apparently there are rumors that they want to do Roman Reigns against John Cena at WrestleMania. So either way, it's going to be a hell of a match at Mania, whether it's Roman against Lesnar Universal Championship or Roman versus John Cena, which of course is an IWC wet dream come true. Yeah, right. But
yeah, and Florida, don't forget another thing that we've been hearing. We've been hearing about maybe Roman Reigns maybe going up against the Undertaker at SummerSlam.
Yes,
because there were rumors of a video where he was calling out the Undertaker.
Yes, at a house show. Yes, absolutely. So,
and we've been hearing rumors about that. And with that video, who knows? Maybe it could fall into place. And let's not forget one thing: the Undertaker's name's not on the alumni page.
No, indeed not. I mean,
that could lead you to believe that maybe he's not done.
Yeah, we thought WrestleMania was the end when he took off his gear, with the hat, the coat, and the gloves, and left him laying in the ring, and then he went down into the stage, went down into the entrance ramp into the night as WrestleMania came to an end. But which was one of the most spine-chilling endings to a WrestleMania ever, I can honestly say. But story for another day. But as far as this is concerned, it's got to be Strowman. I mean, I know there are a lot of rumors that they want to actually have Roman and Lesnar, only because of the fact that Lesnar is a part-time champion and they want to, have a full-time Universal Champion, which I think is a great idea. Whether, I mean, even if it is Roman Reigns, who of course is the most hated man in the IWC, even more hated than John Cena. Go figure. But nonetheless, though, the long rumored plan was for Braun Strowman to fight Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship at SummerSlam, and we'll see if we still think that way. But right now, I got to go with Braun Strowman. I say Braun wins without having to pin Reigns, and then he should go up against Brock, or maybe even Samoa Joe at SummerSlam. You never know. Before Reigns eventually comes back, and they'll probably have another bout. But in what I think will be maybe the second best fight of the night, or even the fight of the night, you never know. I got to go with Braun Strowman to win it. So even though a lot of people are saying Roman's going to win it, so now we're going to move on to a match that Michael Bullock and I are really looking forward to. 30-minute Iron Man match for the Raw Tag Team Championship. Cesaro and Sheamus against our boys and the innovators of Greetings, the Hardys, the Broken Hardys. Yes. So, all right. This series has been good, but not quite good enough that scratch that. The matches have been very good, honestly. I mean, the Hardys came back to WWE, of course, at WrestleMania, and the Hardys, won the tag team titles on that night. And then from there, we had, and then Cesaro and Sheamus, and they had those very good matches, and then of course Payback. The Hardys won it. Jeff got his tooth knocked out by Sheamus, and then of course Cesaro and Sheamus turned heel, and then it led into that steel cage match at Extreme Rules where Cesaro and Sheamus won the titles, and then a few weeks, and then of course on that god awful Monday Night Raw last month, the worst show of the year, by the way, back on June 12th. One of the very few bright spots of that show was when these two teams went at it in a 2 out of 3 falls match. The only difference is it ended in a draw. Cesaro and Sheamus won the first fall. The Hardys won the second fall, but then the third fall ended in a draw and it ended in a double count out. So WWE finally, it looks like this could be the blow off here. I mean, 30-minute Iron Man match. Rules are very simple. Whichever team scores the most decisions in the 30-minute time limit will be the winners and the Raw Tag Team Champions. So this is a match I'm going bonkers over because of the potential. We all know Cesaro is literally a cyborg and can go on forever. So 30 minutes is a cakewalk for him. Jeff will make up for any lags in time by being insane. Sheamus can be absolutely brilliant when given time, and Matt Hardy just may be the glue to guide the match layout. Since the Hardys returned, we have seen a focus on the tag division that we haven't seen in a long time. I honestly cannot call this in all certainty because it can honestly go either way. So part of me wants to go with the Hardys to regain the titles because it would make sense for them to enter SummerSlam as the tag team champions. Maybe we get another rematch. And this is another gimmick bout for the Hardys to lose without actually losing, and I'm fine with it. We complain when stars go 50-50, and we complain when a strong team is made to look strong. Can't have it both ways. The Hardys deserve to look good more often than not, so yeah, their defeats will come with an asterisk a lot. Cesaro and Sheamus are the heels, so expect some funky business down the stretch. For the other 29 minutes, I will enjoy these two hard-hitting teams clash one more time. Like other stuff on Raw, it is time to move on to new beginnings, so it's very tough, but I'm gonna take a chance here, and I'm gonna go with Cesaro and Sheamus to successfully defend the Raw Tag Team Championship. And what I think is going to be, I can honestly say that I think this could be the fight of the night right here. Honestly, I really do. 30 minutes and the talent involved. I think this will far and away be the best match of the series. So that's all I can say there. So give me Cesaro and Sheamus to successfully defend. So Michael Bullock come back on in here, and boy, howdy, does this have some show-stealing potential or what?
Oh, this definitely could be the fight that steals the show here at the Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view. I mean, yeah, a lot of people are talking about, of course, Lesnar and Samoa Joe, and rightfully so. But I think this is one that's going to steal the show. I mean, 30-minute Iron Man match for the Raw Tag Team titles. I mean, boy howdy. I mean, this is one I'm definitely going to be looking forward to. I mean, I think this is the one that's basically going to settle this rivalry once and for good. I mean, Cesaro and Sheamus have had a pretty good run with the titles, and I I think they're going to keep the titles on them. I mean, it's too soon to take it off of them. I mean, the Hardys had already had a really good run with the titles, so I think it's time to move on to another rivalry when it comes to for Sheamus and Cesaro to see who they go up against. So nothing else for me to say except give me Sheamus and Cesaro to win the match and retain the Raw Tag Team titles. So nothing else to say. Florio, let's just move on.
And when Cesaro and Sheamus win the titles, of course, unfortunately, that means there will be no more green beans for anybody. So what a shame that is, but it is what it is. But now we move on to the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship match. Champion The Miz defending the title against Dean Ambrose. The feud that never ends. And Michael Bullock, we started off with you. Miz and Ambrose, it's the feud that never ends. And, this thing's been going on since their SmackDown Live days. And, of course, now here on Monday Night Raw. And, The Miz won the title last month in that match at Extreme Rules, which we thought was better than we expected. But big question here now, Michael Bullock, as we start this with you here. Does The Miz come back to or continue, or does Ambrose somehow find a way to regain this thing? And I don't know. So Miz and Ambrose, Bullock, the feud that never ends. Hopefully this will end here.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that this rivalry ends. I mean, because I'm pretty much getting sick of it. I mean, we saw this rivalry on SmackDown Live, and now it's on Raw. I mean, what's the point of this whole rivalry continuing? I don't know, but either way, I got the Miz winning and retaining the title, and I think that's not just with some help from Maurice, but also from Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. So really nothing more to say. I'm going with Miz to retain the Intercontinental title and hopefully end this feud once and for good. Florio, it's yours.
Is it possible that this is not the blow-off match to this feud? It certainly doesn't feel like it. In the WWE's vague definition of storytelling, there's nothing to indicate that Miz retaining the title in just a basic match here, even if he does it without cheating, doubtful, means that Ambrose is out of the picture. And you know what? I kind of think maybe it should continue because these guys are actually pretty good together. It's just that the WWE is so bankrupt on ideas most of the time that it all feels so repetitive. I expect them to technically have one of the better matches of the night that will get ignored because most people will be, sitting on their hands or looking at their phones like they're married to them, for goodness sakes. I'll sum it up like this. On SmackDown Live, this feud was a nice bit of fun. However, on Raw, it has fizzled out and it doesn't interest anymore, despite, my respect for The Miz. That awful LeVar Ball segment did nothing to change my interest. At this point, it's very hard to care. Of course, I've got The Miz retaining, but honestly, I think the best option would be for The Miz. Miz is obviously going to need a new dance partner come SummerSlam. I don't know. Maybe a certain Demon King, perhaps? Finn Balor? And I would have Finn dethrone Miz. And I think a Finn Balor run as Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, main eventing shows while Lesnar is on hibernation, could do wonders for the title. Of course, that probably won't happen with our luck. But long story short, Miz retains here because, well, why not? So I got The Miz successfully defending the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship as well, and I don't know who he's going to move on to next, but who knows? With our luck, this feud will probably go on and on and on and on. So give me The Miz to successfully defend. Now we move on to the Raw Women's Championship on the line. Champion Alexa Bliss defending the title against former champion Sasha Banks. Okay, I don't know. I don't know how this can go. I mean, this can go either way. It really can. I mean, I'm torn right now. My gut is telling me My gut's telling me to go with Alexa Bliss to retain the title, but my heart is telling me to go with Sasha to win the title, so we could still get to that long rumored Sasha and Bayley feud that has been rumored a lot of points this year. And this should be clear. After coming in with a lot of hoopla, Sasha Banks, along with Charlotte and Bayley, haven't done a ton. Sure, she's racked up accolades, women's titles, main events, but the performances on the mic and in the ring have not even been close to the level of her NXT work. Alexa Bliss came in with little hype, and like Carmella, has done with the four horsewomen, excluding Becky, haven't. She delivers character and promo work in spades. Remember the Superstar shakeup? Bayley and Sasha were in the ring together, but it was Alexa who got the biggest pop. Imagine thinking that would happen in 2015. Alexa should absolutely win here. She's the top heel. Sasha remains a so-so babyface, and the title switches too often. So, it's the matchup I've been waiting for since Bliss made her way to Raw. Her and Banks have an attitude that click with each other, and I feel this just may become the next great women's feud. So because of this, we can't have Banks win the first battle between the two. Bliss needs to get by via nefarious means. I see Bliss realizing she can't hang with the boss, so the goddess either takes a walk or cheats blatantly to fight another day, perhaps at SummerSlam. So I could see either Alexa winning by nefarious means or maybe Sasha winning the match by count out or disqualification. So there's really, I really don't know how this goes, but nonetheless, I'm going to take a chance here, and I'm going to go with, you know what? I'm just going to go with Alexa Bliss to successfully defend the title. It's very clear WWE is high on her. But if Sasha should win, it will start up the discussions once again of that rumored Bayley and Sasha feud that has been rumored for SummerSlam. So we'll see what happens, but I'm just going to go with my gut. They always say go with your gut when you're not sure. So I'm going with Alexa Bliss, but if Sasha wins, I would not be surprised at all. So. But I'm going with the 5 Feet of Fury. I'm going with the goddess and my future ex-wife. So with that being said, Michael Bullock, this is very tough to call, if not the toughest match to call. Do you go with Alexa to retain because of her, how high management is on her? Or do we go with Sasha? And who knows, if Sasha wins, could we finally see that Sasha Bayley long-rumored feud for SummerSlam? Tough to call.
Yeah, this is a tough one to call for me as well. Part of me is going with Alexa Bliss, but another part of me is going with Sasha Banks, and it's good to see Sasha Banks back in the women's title picture. After that pointless, unnecessary feud that she was in with, of course, with Rich Swann going up, of course, against Alicia Fox and Noam Dar. I had a huge problem with that. Because she deserved way better than that. So, yeah, it's good to see her back in it, but I don't know. But I'm going to have to go with you as well. I'm going with Alexa Bliss to win and retain the Raw Women's Championship. So, nothing else to say. So, Florio, I think it's time to move on to our main event, and woo, we're gonna have a whole hell of a lot of fun with this one.
Oh man alive. Woo woo woo, you know it, Bullock. Absolutely. Main event of Great Balls of Fire for the WWE Universal Championship. Universal Champion Brock Lesnar in his first title defense. Yes, this is his first title defense since he won the title at WrestleMania from Bill Goldberg. Defending the title against the number one contender, Samoa Joe, who became number one contender by winning that damn near 5-star Extreme Rules 5-way. Oh, boy. Michael Bullock, is it a one-and-done title defense for Brock Lesnar? Does Brock Lesnar's run as Universal Champion continue and, he goes into hibernation more? Or does WWE do the unthinkable and actually put the title on the Samoan submission machine? Because reports are that management is very high on Joe, especially his work as of late. So another tough decision. So who you got?
Man, this to me is going to be the greatest be a man fight of all time. I mean, you got the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar, and the Samoan machine, Samoa Joe, and basically lately, Samoa Joe's been getting the upper hand on Brock Lesnar. Could he be the guy to conquer the Beast? I mean, the build for this match has been so good. Starting off with their first encounter when Brock Lesnar returned. So much so. It took security, it took the superstars, and even the police to basically keep these two apart from each other. And then basically Samoa Joe comes up from behind and puts the Conquina clutch on Lesnar, and basically Lesnar looked helpless. And then of course you had that what was supposed to be a separate face a separate interviews with both of them, and then Samoa Joe was basically like, you know what, screw it, we're done talking. And you want to talk about a guy who's just, we talk about Neville as a screamer. How about Samoa Joe? He's a guy who basically respects nobody, not even the general manager Kurt Angle. It's possible that Samoa Joe, could become the new Universal champion. But here's the thing. Of course, the rumors of, we all think he's going to defend the title at SummerSlam, and it's going to be against Braun Strowman. So, and if they're going to go through with that, I think it's an easy choice. You got to go with Brock Lesnar to win and retain the Universal Championship. And of course, as you heard from Derek Ferreira, we're also going to see the Beast Incarnate of course, they're going to be Brock Lesnar is going to make an appearance at No Mercy. So we're going to be seeing quite a bit of Brock Lesnar. So Lesnar wins and retains the Universal title. I'm hoping this is going to be a 5-star classic, but my only concern is, and Florida, you remember this pretty well. SummerSlam 2012, Triple H and Brock Lesnar, that match was hyped up really well. The build for it was so damn good. And then what happened?
The match sucked.
Yeah, that's my only concern going into this match. I hope I'm wrong, but either way, I got Brock Lesnar winning this match. Floria, what's yours?
I agree. I got Lesnar winning as well. For one, it's his first title defense. Would you really have him defend just the title just one time and then have him lose it? This match, man, I was shocked to see Samoa Joe win the Fatal 5-Way to become the #1 contender. Even more shocked to see how he has been treated since this is how you build a Universal or world title match. Two behemoths that don't like each other, beating the holy hell out of each other and talking some grade A crap to sell the confrontation. The real story is that Samoa Joe has taken his opportunity as a WWE main eventer and more than ran with the ball. He's gone 5 miles past the goal line. Joe has become a credible star through all this and needs to be rewarded for it. However, I don't think he's winning. Brock versus Reigns is happening no matter what, or Brock versus Strowman. But what was first deemed as a potential squash for Lesnar just may end up being a real test for the Beast, and Lesnar will give Joe enough to solidify him as the real deal. I think Joe eventually begins a rise to a monster Universal title run in the future, and I couldn't be happier for him. Even though I know Brock is walking away the winner, I am rooting for Joe to show the world that he is more than just some Samoan fat man and has lost a step because of his age. I know more about Samoa Joe than Bullock does. Mainly from his days in TNA. I didn't see him in Ring of Honor. I know MF and Derek Ferreira did, but I saw him. I best know him from his days in TNA. He started off as undefeated. He was unbeaten for a year and a half. He was never pinned or submitted in a year and a half, and And then, the rest is history with Joe. He won every championship there was to win there. He was a world heavyweight champion. He was the X Division champion and a tag team champion as well, and had some awesome matches down there. And Bullock also is right. I mean, you talk about Adrian Neville being a screamer during his promos. Joe is just as much of a screamer, if not even more of a screamer. I mean, you know how intense this guy can get. Trust me, I know. I mean, he did the same thing in TNA, for goodness sakes. And I'm sure he probably did the same thing in Ring of Honor, even though I didn't see anything like that. But, in the past month, there has been a push to ditch long-term plans with Brock Lesnar in WrestleMania 34 and just ride the momentum in Samoa Joe right now. I get that logic. I understand striking while the iron is hot. I'm well aware of taking advantage of an unforeseen opportunity falling in the air. At the same time, that same thought process has us with the WWE Championship over on SmackDown Live and countless other sure, why not decisions. Obviously, Joe is deserving and a million times better than Jinder Mahal, so the comparison is not quite up to snuff, but you get the idea. The company has had major plans for Brock during the final year of his contract. We know that. Joe will surely get other chances and be a success, win or lose on Sunday against the Beast. Save the whining and complaining, come around 10 o'clock tomorrow night. He'll be all right. I know he's an internet darling and has to crush the dreaded part-timer, but relax. It reminds me of Royal Rumble 2009, where all the logic and momentum in the world told us Jeff Hardy would dethrone Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. It just had, or 2008 Royal Rumble. It just had to happen, everybody said. Well, no, it didn't. Hardy lost clean. Everybody lost their minds. We saw what happened next. It was very fitting. And later in the year, when the time was right, Jeff Hardy got his moment. And many more moments afterwards. I do not feel like this is a must-win for Samoa Joe. On the flip side, for Brock and WWE's master plans into 2018, he must remain Universal Champion. So with that being said, in what will undoubtedly be the greatest Be a Man fight of all time, the winner and still Universal Champion, the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. So, with all that being said, a quick progressive rating for this event tomorrow night, and I'm leaning towards somewhere between 7 and 8 right now. I mean, Lesnar and Joe is going to be all kinds of awesome. It's going to be the greatest Be a Man fight ever. I'm also very high on the Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman ambulance match. And I'm also very high on that Iron Man match for the tag team championship. Those three are going to be the show stealers. You've got a kickoff match that's the most intriguing kickoff match I've seen probably since WrestleMania, when it was at Neville and Austin Aries. And the other matches, though, I do have concerns over them. I mean, the women's match, the women haven't really been doing well as of late, even though they had that wonderful gauntlet match a couple weeks ago. The one that Sasha Banks wanted to earn the right to face Alexa Bliss. And the Intercontinental match, it surprised us at Extreme Rules. Can they do it again? I don't know. We'll see. And Rollins and Wyatt, 3 years ago, I would have been excited for this match. Nowadays, I can't really get behind it. And I pretty much covered everything else. So I think it's between 7 and 8 out of 10. Like I said, the matches that really are gonna do it for me: the Iron Man match, the ambulance match, and Lesnar and Joe. So I'm leaning towards 7, between 7 and 8, although I think it's more like 7, maybe 7.5. So with that being said, Michael Bullock, your progressive, your excitement level basically for Great Balls of Fire tomorrow night.
Yeah. What did you give this?
I rated it. I gave it between 7 or 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm thinking of being in that same range, somewhere between 7 to 8 out of 10. I think it's going to be good, but the women's match, it could be good, but like you said, the women on Raw haven't been really good. Of course, the match is the one I'm going to have a lot of interest in. Same thing with the Raw tag team titles. Yeah. You basically mentioned everything else. So to say. I mean, I'm gonna go 7 to 8 out of 10 as well. So nothing else to say except let's just put a bow on this special edition of Ridiculously Raw.
Yes, indeed. And that will put the bow on this special edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. And tomorrow night, immediately following the Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view, join myself, Michael Bullock. Hopefully we'll have Girl MF Michael Fletcher back with us. And I know we'll also have the Twisted Angel and First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, Dee Dee Woodson. We'll all be here. Hopefully we'll have the whole band here. Come tomorrow night as we will give you our thoughts and our complete recap of Great Balls of Fire immediately following the event, right back here tomorrow night. And then Monday night, of course, we'll be back again with Ridiculously Raw, where we will sort out all the fallout from Great Balls of Fire. And, of course, I'll have my Tony's take on 205 Live and Impact Wrestling. I'll also give you the results of Slammiversary for those who may not know them. And then, of course, Tuesday night at either 10 or 10:30 over on MF's channel, Brace Fan 95, we will have another installment of the Cerebral Smack Talk. We'll sort out we'll review SmackDown Live. I expect the AJ Styles U.S. title situation to be addressed big time as we will continue the road to Battleground, which is the next pay-per-view after this one. And MF, I'm sure, will have his Mikey's Mindset with Lucha Underground and some other things, maybe some ROH, maybe some RWA, some other things. I don't know. And then Friday night, Strictly Sports. So we'll see what we have. We'll see what the docket holds when Derek releases that sometime next week. And that's it. So until tomorrow night for our Great Balls of Fire recap, it's the ridiculously over gentleman, Anthony Florio, here for the Phenom, Michael Bullock. And in spirit, our colleagues, good old MF Michael Fletcher, the Twisted Angel, Dee Dee Woodson, and, of course, the man himself, Falcon Striker 445, or the Hardcore Pipe Bomb, Derek Ferreira. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Sunday. And until tomorrow night for our Great Balls of Fire recap, you've been watching this very special edition of Ridiculously Raw, our Great Balls of Fire preview edition, right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube.com. And remember, no matter what anyone tells you, wrestling is indeed actually real. Good night, everybody.